Hello, everybody. Good evening. Good evening. So good to see you all. Hey, Beryl from the UK. Wow, good to see you on the call. And we got David from the UK as well. You guys are nice and warm there. MC, Don, Sandy, Rizal, Andre, Beverly, Jeannie. Let's see, David, Jackie, Evelyn, Marcella, Sean, Winnie. So good to see you guys. I love it when you guys have got your cameras on. Jesse, so good to see you as well. Last week, Tuesday, when I was presenting, I had a hoodie on, plus another hoodie and a jacket. I had 4 layers on, and Sean had 5 layers on. That was last week, Tuesday. And here we are now wearing a short sleeve shirt today, nice and warm in Johannesburg. Yeah, optimistic. I said to everybody last week, I said, guys, it's gonna be hot next week, and everybody's going, Chris, you are mad. No ways, it's freezing cold. I'm optimistic. It's nice and warm now. I think it's probably about it's gonna hit the 30s. So we used to have spring. Now you just go from winter and you go straight to summer. There's no such thing as spring anymore. I think they kind of deleted that off the calendar. Okay, I'm just gonna see a lot of people coming on, so I'm gonna give it like a minute just to let everybody get on, and then we're gonna get started. Um, I see there's quite a few new people on the call this evening. Welcome, welcome. Um, and all you guys have been waiting for this updated presentation that I've been busy working on in the background. Some really nice, beautiful, fresh new slides. I think you guys are really gonna enjoy it a bit more, bit more visual, a few more pictures, and yeah, it's going to follow a beautiful format where we're going to have the first part where we're going to be talking about the company, the product, the technology, and then a definite pause in the middle, and then we're going to go and talk about the business side thereafter. So yeah, it's going to be a beautiful format of the new presentation. So I'm really looking forward to presenting it tonight. I think my eyes are a bit square at the moment. I've been working on it like literally flat out for the last 5 days, like 14 hours a day. So I only finished the last slide 2 hours ago. So that's what you call lastminute.com, Chris. I like to work under pressure. Okie dokie. Let me just quickly do this. Spotlight. There we are. And there. And I just want to change the view so I can see everybody. And there we are. Okay. So make sure it's recording. Yep, everything's recording. All the control panels are on. All right. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everybody. My name is Chris. I'm dialing in from Johannesburg, South Africa, and welcome to tonight's call on the 17th of August, 2026. Can you believe it? We towards the end of the year. Welcome to the call this evening. Very quickly before we jump in, as I said, my name is Chris. Myself and Lucinda, my wife, we've been part of LifeWave for just under 4 years now. So how did I get to be sitting here tonight presenting LifeWave? I'm just going to quickly tell you a little bit about my story of how it led up to me and Lucinda joining LifeWave. So I come from the children's toy industry background. I started my own company 14 years ago in a little garage at home. And what I used to do for a living was I used to make children happy. I created this little toy car that I have in my hand over here. It's got a little blow piece that kids used to blow the end and you spin a little turbine, put it on the floor and zoom off the little car used to go. And this is my little brainchild. Everybody laughed at me and thought, Chris, what do you know about toys? And over a 10-year period, I turned this company into an international toy brand. I was selling this product to over 35 countries around the world. Yeah, a decade it took me to get there. And anybody that's been in business, companies have what you call a tipping point at any given time. And my tipping point was in year 10 and received an order from a customer in Germany. I thought it was lottery payday. And guess what happened at the end of 2019? Yes, the pandemic kicked in and changed the face of this world. And let me tell you, when it came to toys, kids exchanging saliva, blowing the back of a toy was not very popular during the pandemic. So unfortunately, I'd closed the door to my company, and yeah, I watched my company close down after 10 years of hard work. And I don't care how strong-minded you are, positive thinking you are, you're going to hit a tad bit of depression. And that's what happened to me. In 2020, 2021, I started going into a downward spiral of anxiety, depression, brain fog, burnout. I was not in a good place. In fact, what I looked like is very different to what I look like today. You can ask George. George is on the call. George is a good friend of mine that lives in Mallorca, Spain. Saw me on the Zoom call, told me how bad I looked, and said, I've got something that can help you. Guys, I had black rings under my eyes. My beard was completely gray. I looked like death warmed up. He said, I've got some patches called X39 that can help you with this. He sent me 21 messages. I wasn't interested. Eventually, after the 21st message, I thought, okay, let me give this a try. I was skeptical as hell. Anyway, I ordered my patches. 2 days later, this arrived at my house. Sleeve of X39. I opened up the little envelope, and inside there were 30 of these little patches. Put the patch on the back of my neck on day 1. On day 5, all I can tell you is my life completely transformed. It felt like a veil was lifted off my head. Is anybody on the call that knows what brain fog feels like? Anybody know what brain fog feels like? Guys, it's real. It is real. And let me tell you, on day 5, my clarity of thinking was like when I was in my mid-20s. I knew that something was going on here. My anxiety started to subside. Finally felt like I wanted to get out of bed in the morning. I could feel something was happening. But the big shift that happened for me was my mom. 16 years prior to patching, my mom was diagnosed with fibromyalgia, muscle degenerative disease. Took my mom to doctor, specialist, and all they did was gave her tablets and nothing worked. Eventually, my mom was eating paracetamol tablets, like we eat M&Ms. The side of her mouth looked like chalk from eating the tablets just to try to get rid of the pain. My mom would not sleep for longer than an hour per night. She would go through a jar of 100 tablets every 3 days. So I go see my mom. I tell her about the patches. My mom laughed at me and said, what a load of rubbish. Those are stickers. Don't waste your money. Long story short, I patched my mom. 3.5 weeks later, she phoned me, but she was crying on the phone. And I said, Mom, what's wrong? She said, my boy, I don't know how to tell you this. And I thought, here we go. She said, I slept through pain-free for the first time in 16 years. That was the day that everything changed for myself and Lucinda. I went running downstairs and I said, my angel, this is it. She said, what do you mean this is it? I said, if this can work on my mom, we need to share this with the world. And that's how we got to be sitting here nearly 4 years into LifeWave. So I'm going to jump straight into the presentation now. Here we go. So make sure you can see the screen. Yes, there we go. Move this out the way. Give me 1 second. It's in the way. There we go. Perfect. I'm just moving the panel out the way. All right. So here at LifeWave, we ask the question, have you been patched? We're going to be talking about the LifeWave and specifically the X39 product. This is going to be the product and technology overview. But before I jump into the presentation, I'm going to play a very quick 1-minute video clip where it's just going to quickly show the technology in a nutshell, and then we're going to jump straight in.
Light, an ancient form of energy that goes back to the dawn of time. It all begins with the sun, the source of light and life for our entire solar system. Even Einstein concluded that everything we are made of contains light. All life originates with the sun through photosynthesis. Plants and vegetation collect the light, and all living creatures emit light. Humans actually emit infrared light, which can be seen with night vision devices. We've known for centuries that light has many effects on the body. LifeWave phototherapy patches use light to stimulate the body's natural healing systems, providing specific health benefits. Here's how the technology works. A patch is applied to specific points on the body where it covers the skin. Infrared light emitted from the body is reflected back into the tissue. This stimulates the skin, which in turn stimulates specific regions of the brain. The brain then taps into the body's own natural flow of energy and its ability to heal itself. On a cellular level, this matters because many of the patch products help counteract free radicals, oxygen molecules that damage cell proteins and contribute to visible signs of aging. When the body is stimulated through phototherapy to release its own antioxidants, these free radicals are naturally neutralized. LifeWave. Live long, live well.
So the company LifeWave was founded in 2004. It's a 22-year-old company. In fact, when George told me about LifeWave 4 years ago, the first question I asked him, I said, George, how old is this company? And at that stage, he said to me, 18 years. That ticked a big box for me because one word stood out for me, the word stability. LifeWave is open in 87 countries around the world, so this is a global business. And what really put LifeWave on the map was the X39, which was launched in 2019. After X39 was launched, the company experienced a 3,000% growth in the last 6 years. In fact, LifeWave went from a $20 million company in 2020 to over $600 million in 2025, and is projected to do $1 billion in the next 2 years. So the brainchild behind it all, David Schmidt, the founder and CEO of LifeWave. In fact, he's a scientist, he's an inventor. He actually comes from a family of scientists and inventors. He holds not one, not 10, not 100, but 200 issued patents. He specializes in phototherapy and age reversing. And in 2008, David Schmidt focused his attention on stem cell research. The X39 patent took 10 years and $4.5 million to bring to the market. So very quickly on a patent, two things. When it comes to a patent, it means that there's no competition. Now, there's a lot of amazing products in the industry, but you're always competing against each other. In other words, my pill is better than your pill, or my powder is better than your powder. LifeWave is in a league of its own, where we've got no competition. The other thing about a patent is you may not just go and submit paperwork and just overnight get a patent. You've got to hand in the clinical trials, case studies, the paperwork, the product, and they've got to go do testing. And then they come back and say, yes, the product does do what the company says the product does. Then only by law you may get issued a patent. So that gives even more validation on the technology that we're talking about tonight. This award is probably the most significant award to date that LifeWave received at the end of 2025. The LifeWave product wins the Stem Cell Innovation of the Year in 2025, the Biotech Breakthrough Award Program. Now, this is out of thousands of nominations from 15 countries around the world, and LifeWave is the only company that received this award. So, why X39 technology patch? Regenerative cells make up every organ of your body. As you age, your regenerative cells become dormant. At age 30, you only have 50% of your regenerative cells that are active. At age 60, less than 10% of our regenerative cells are active. So, very quickly, how does X39 work? It's a proprietary form of phototherapy, patented nanocrystal technology, no drugs, no chemicals, no stimulants, nothing goes into the body. It reflects your own body's light to activate the patch, non-transdermal and non-invasive. So here's some of the quick benefits of X39. Optimal health and wellness, improved exercise performance, improvements in strength, improvements in stamina, healthy energy flow, and as I mentioned in the previous slide, no drugs, no stimulants, nothing goes into the body. Here's some of the long-term results. 4,000 genes begin to reset within the first 24 to 48 hours. After a couple of months, your brain becomes balanced. For me, it took 5 days. How much you call a 5-day patch wonder. And after 3 months, your collagen is increased in your body. And lastly, after 6 months, your heart actually reverses in age. Now, this statement that David Schmidt really stood out for me. It's not anti-aging, it's age reversing. So how does the X39 patch work? 12 hours on and 12 hours off. This is so that your body can regenerate, activate, and then when you take it off, your body can rest, repair, so that it rejuvenates. You're welcome to take a picture or a screenshot of this page. This is itinfo.com. You can go into this website. It's got all the patents, case studies, testimonials, the science, the proof, everything is on this website. So the X39 works where your body needs it work, where your body needs it most. So it works on a systemic approach. Now, your body is more intelligent. You might be thinking, well, I want to use the product for X, Y, and Z, but the cells in your body, the regenerative cells, know where to go and work where your body needs it most. So David Schmidt advises to wear the X39 patch daily for at least 1 month per decade, just to get your body to optimum health. Very important part is stay hydrated, drink lots of water. And important, everybody's body is different. I'm a 5-day patch wonder. My mom took 3.5 weeks. Lucinda, my wife, she was suffering with digestive issues, tinnitus, the ringing of the ears, and menopause, 12 to 15 hot flushes per day. It took Lucinda 2 months before she started to feel anything. So the rule of thumb is 1 month per decade of life. So if you're 50 years old, you need to be using the product for a minimum of 5 months to get your body to an optimum health level. All right, testimonies. This is my exciting part. In the last nearly 4 years, the amount of miracles we've seen on a daily basis have absolutely blown our minds. Just as you think you've seen in a testimony that completely takes your words out of your mouth, you see the next one, then you see the next one. And we get messages on a daily basis of how this product has completely transformed their life. You can ask the person who invited you onto the call this evening, ask them for the link, the testimonies link tree, https://linktr.ee/testimony videos A to Z. There are over 900 testimonies from A to Z. So you click on the one link and then it brings it up from A to Z, and you can decide whichever letter of the alphabet you want to go to. Click on it and you'll see all the different testimonies categorized there as well. Also, if you go to the bottom of this link tree, there are over 70 clips by David Schmidt. Then just underneath that, there's another one called Doctor's Reviews. Over 40 clips by different health practitioners, what they have to say about LifeWave. We've also just added the new French, German, and Afrikaans part as well, so you can see some testimonies there. Athletes on patches. This is actually where the story began. Michael Phelps, the Olympic gold medal swimmer, in 2004, that's when the Olympic swimming team won all the gold medals. And they were using the very first patch called the Energy Enhancer. Because they won all the gold medals, all of the medals were actually taken back. The Olympic Committee thought that they were doping. So David Schmidt had to hand in the clinical trials, the case studies, the patches, and they went to go do the testing and came back and said, well, nothing goes into the body. And all the medals were handed back. Later on, David Schmidt will explain it in a video clip. And that's where LifeWave's journey started in 2004. We have Serena Williams, we all know her, tennis player, David Beckham, footballer, Lorenzo Salvadori. Now, this one's quite interesting. He's a motorbike rider. And what he does is he actually puts the X39 on his forehead to help him with his concentration. Because listen, when you're doing 340, 350 kilometers an hour on a racetrack, your mind's got to be pretty sharp. And then lastly, we have Mike Tyson. And this is just a handful of well-known sports athletes that are using the patches. So here is a journey of innovation. So we've spoken a lot about X39 Patch Tonight, which is our flagship product. But where the journey started in 2004 was the Energy Enhancer patch. In 2006, LifeWave launched the IceWave patch, which is known as Pain Patch. And also in 2006, the YH system glutathione, the detox patch, and carnosine, the clarity patch. Then a year after that, in 2007, the SP6 complete, the cravings patch, and in 2009, the sleepy patch called Silent Nights. Then in 2011, Eon was launched, and Eon became the number one LifeWave selling product. Eon has got a nickname. It's called the Happy Patch. Now, this one helps with any type of inflammation that you have in your body as well. In 2015, Alavida was launched, the beauty patch. And then, ta-da, in 2019, the product that put LifeWave on the map is the X39. Then 3 years later, followed by the X49 patch. So this is the product range in a snapshot showing the journey over the last 22 years. I'm going to play a very quick 1-minute video clip because you might be thinking, all right, how and where do these products get manufactured? There's the manufacturing plant in Galway in Ireland, and this factory is already geared up to produce over $2 billion worth of patches. Here's how the products get made. So how do you join LifeWave and become part of this exciting patching journey? There's 3 ways to join LifeWave. Number 1, you can become a retail customer. If you'd like to just maybe try the products, you pay regular retail price and you get a 30-day money-back guarantee. Or you can become a preferred customer, anyone that wants to get the best price and other benefits. You get wholesale pricing, loyalty rewards and monthly samples, and you get a 90-day money-back guarantee. And then number 3, you can become a brand partner if you would like to generate an additional income. You get wholesale pricing, there's an attractive compensation plan, and you get a 30-day money-back guarantee. So let's go to retail customer. Before we talk about the retail price of the X39, let's first have a little look at the expensive alternative. Regenerative injections. Over $10,000. That's about 160,000 Rand for a set of these injections. The problem with that is it's inconvenient. You're putting somebody else's cells into your body. They're expensive, they're invasive, painful, and you've got a 50% failure rate. Where if you look at the retail price of X39, a full sleeve of 30 patches, 1 month's supply, is $149.95 retail price. So the X39 and the X49 are 149. That is in South African rands, that's 3,000 Rand. The supportive patches, the other patches are 79.95, which works out to about 1,600 Rand per sleeve of patches. Or what you can then do, if you want to get the products at a better price, you can register as a preferred customer where you can then get wholesale pricing, where the price drops dramatically. The X39 and X49 goes right down to only $99, which works out to just on 2,000 Rand. The supportive patches, that's your energy enhancer, LifeWave, carnosine, glutathione, Eon, Alavida, Silent Night, and SP6. They work out wholesale price at $69, let's call it $70, which is about 1,400 Rand if you order one. If you order 2 sleeves of the supportive patches, the unit price drops right down to only $60 each, which is about 1,250. And if you order 3 or more of the supportive patches, the individual sleeve price drops right down to only $50 each, which is about 1,100 Rand. Then number 3, you could become a brand partner. Here you can choose one of the 4 kits. This is where you get the best value for money. So let's start with the entry-level kit that is called Core. That's $295 plus minus 6,000 Rand. And that gives you 3 sleeves of X39. Or you can mix and match. What does that mean? If you take one of the X39 off, you can replace it with not 1, 2 of the supported patches. There you're looking at a saving of $30. Then the advanced kit, which is our most popular kit, that is $535, gives you 6 sleeves of X39, plus minus 10,000 Rand, and there you can mix and match as well. You're looking at a saving of $90. Then we have the advanced plus kit, $975, plus minus 19,000 Rand, and that gives you 11 sleeves of X39, or you can mix and match as well. And then we have the premium kit, that's plus minus 34,000 Rand, and that gives you 20 sleeves of X39, and you can mix and match as well. Those are the 4 different kits where you can become a brand partner, and you can order whenever you want to at the wholesale price. So by choosing one of the kits, the $25 wholesale registration fee is waived. It's included in the kit price. But you might be looking and going, oh, Chris, you know what? I don't have $295. I'd like to dip my toe in the water and I'd like to try 1 sleeve of X39. You're welcome. You can do that. You pay the $25 registration fee, and then straight away you become a brand partner, which means that you can order immediately at the wholesale price and get the X39 for only $99. You can also upgrade your kits at any given time, and you just pay in the difference and you get the difference in product. All right, so we've come to the end of this part of the presentation for any of the new guests that are on the call this evening. If you're ready to start your patching journey, speak to the person who invited you onto this call this evening to find out how to get started. You're more than welcome to leave the call if you want to. This is the end of the product and technology part of the presentation. If you're curious about the business side of it, who would like patches for free? Anybody? Put your hand up. Anybody want patches for free? If you want free patches, stay on the call for the next 10 to 15 minutes. If you're curious about the business, where we're going to talk about the business side of LifeWave. Real people, real stories, and a real story at the end. So let's jump into part 2 of this presentation. All right, so LifeWave X39 business overview. Because this technology is patented and exclusive, it offers a lucrative business plan. So what I'm going to do is, before I go into the slides, I'm going to play a 3-minute video clip where David Schmidt explains to Stephen Gina Merritt why he chose to make LifeWave a network marketing company. And he also talks about the journey from 2004. Here goes.
When I started LifeWave and was doing an evaluation of how to market this, I was thinking about radio and TV. I approached GNC, who wanted to market the product, looked at infomercials and talked to companies about doing that. We did some testing. And I had an experience where a fellow that was a business friend introduced me to somebody. We had a business lunch, and then he ran into somebody in a movie theater who was interested in investing in LifeWave. I met with that guy, and then he introduced me to a medical doctor who introduced me to another medical doctor who was friends with Coach Richard Quick at Stanford University. So in about a 3-week period of time, I went from sitting at a lunch in Beaufort to being out at Stanford University putting patches on Olympic swimmers with Richard Quick, a 6-time US Olympic coach. And when I really thought about that, I said, you know, this would never have happened with the product sitting on the shelf at GNC. Would never happen. Yeah. This is all networking. I need to go back and reevaluate this. And so in July of 2004, I flew out to California. I was invited there by Coach Quick to see the Olympic trials. And when I landed, he said, well, we have an issue. The Olympic Committee thinks that there's drugs in these patches, and they want you to, explain what the technology is. So I met with this fellow, Dr. Scott Rodeo, explained what the patches were. They took them down to UCLA Microanalytical Lab, validated, there were only natural materials in the patches, and we were vindicated. But over 1,000 people contacted me wanting to buy the product and be a distributor for this new technology. And I was like, okay, the alarm bells went off. Clearly, what God is telling me, this is supposed to be a network marketing company. And 3 months later, on November 10th of 2004, we started sales. We did $500,000 in business our very first month. So it was a very, very clear sign this was where our home was supposed to be.
And I am so grateful that David Schmidt decided to use the network marketing channel as its method of distribution. So why network marketing? Let's compare the industry values per year. On the left-hand side is the NFL. That's the football league in the USA. Now, I had no idea that this was the value of the NFL. The figures I'm giving you are not million, but billion. Now, guys, $1 billion is a lot of money. NFL is worth $16 billion per year. The music industry is worth $22 billion per year. The film industry is worth $137 billion. Now, funny enough, I thought the film industry was going to be a little bit higher. But then let's take a look at the gaming industry. It's worth $156 billion per year. Now, look at this column on the right-hand side. The network marketing industry is bigger than all of those. It's worth $243 billion per year. Guys, it is a massive industry. In fact, it's the fastest growing industries, one of the fastest growing industries since 1889. I was reading something the other day. You know that network marketing industry is bigger than the top soft drink brand, the biggest burger brand, and the biggest coffee brand in the world. Network marketing is bigger than all three of those combined. Okay, I'll say what they are. Coca-Cola, McDonald's, and Starbucks. Network marketing is bigger than all three combined. LifeWave is now ranked #1 in momentum in the network marketing industry. So we are so in the right place at the right time with the right company and the right product in the right industry. So what is important in your life? Only you can answer that question. Is it family time? Is it security? Maybe you want to travel the world. Better health? Well, we got that one ticked off here at LifeWave. Maybe a little bit of less debt. I want to ask you, how would an extra $1,000 a month impact your life? Would that make a difference in your household? Absolutely. $1,000, that's like nearly 17,000 Rand. Well, for starters, you'll be able to get your patches for free. So let's quickly talk about a conventional business versus a LifeWave business. Now, a conventional business, you're looking at very high startup costs. Trust me, I know when I started my toy company, I had to get business loans just to start the company. Cost just over R1 million. That's before you've even made one sale. In the first 3 to 4 years of any conventional business, you're not even in profit yet. You're paying back the debt just to start the business. Where LifeWave, you saw the previous slide, you can start your business for as little as $295. Very high risk. Trust me, in conventional business, there's a lot of things that can go wrong. Here, you've got a 30-day risk-free trial. There is no risk. Trial and error in traditional business. I had to learn a lot of different things trying to build up my business over that 10-year period where I didn't have any mentorship. I didn't have anybody telling me what to do. I had to learn all that on my own. Where here with LifeWave, we've got a proven duplicatable system. Long hours in traditional business, where here you make up your own schedule. And lastly, in a traditional business, there's limited earning potential because there's only so many hours in the day. Where here with LifeWave, we're talking about duplicating your time and exponential growth, which means that your earning potential is unlimited. But very quickly talking on earnings. If this is the first time you've ever seen this picture before, this is called the cash flow quadrant. This was written by Robert Kiyosaki. He wrote the book Rich Dad, Poor Dad 30 years ago. I'm going to go through this slide really quick. On the left-hand side, you've got what we call active income. And on the right-hand side, we've got leveraged or passive income. So ESBR, those are the 4 ways that you can earn money in this world. E stands for employee. That means that you have a job. You're trading time for money. If you're not actively at your job, that means the income stops. So one day you decide to fire your boss and you become self-employed. You start your own business. You own a job. You've actually hired yourself. But the problem here also is no work equals no income. I've been on that side before. So the red side is the danger side. Let's move over to the blue side. B and R. B stands for business owner. You own a system that works for you. This means that you have a structure in place, which means that you're earning money when you're not actively there. You have a team and systems in place. In fact, I love this saying by Warren Buffett. He said, if you don't find a way to make money while you are sleeping, you will work until the day you die. So having a business system in place means if you walk away from your business for 3 months and you come back, you still have a business. Then R stands for investor. That's where everybody wants to get to, where your money starts to make money for you. Now, you can very quickly move to the right-hand side of the cash flow quadrant. The moment you join LifeWave, you've become a business owner. So with LifeWave, the compensation plan, there are not 3, not 4, not 5. There are 9 ways to earn an income. It's the most lucrative compensation plan in the industry. I'm not going to go through all 9 of them in detail, but I'm just going to mention them individually. We have number 1, retail profit, number 2, customer premiums, and number 3, product introductory bonus. Now, these 3 incomes are where you get rewarded immediately. You can register tonight and you can already start putting money in your pocket as quickly as tomorrow. Then number 4 and 5 is business launch bonus and level earnings bonus. This is where you get rewarded for consistency. And then number 6 and number 7, this is where you get the long-term income. This is where you get rewarded for leadership, binary bonus and mentor matching. The binary bonus works on a hybrid model, which is uni-level and binary combined. I'll touch on that in the next slide. And then number 8 and 9, we have breakthrough incentives and quarterly leadership pool. This is where you earn a sustainable long-term income. This is what we call the binary bonus system. What does binary mean? Binary means 2. All it essentially means is you're building 2 legs. You've got a left team and you've got a right team. And this is just 1 income out of the 9 income streams. There are 12 different ranks that we go through. I'm not going to go into too much detail of that tonight, but we have what we call 1-star, 2-star, 3-star manager. That's the first ranks, going up to director, executive, and presidential. At the 3rd rank, you already start to earn a binary income where you can earn up to $1,500, not per month, but per week. That is just the start. And then included in that is breakthrough bonuses as well. This is a system that we all belong to. We all belong to the fastest growing team in LifeWave globally. In fact, it's the fastest growing team in the whole network marketing industry, where this is all about duplication and plugging into a system which we have in place. You can get more information. You can take a screenshot of this page, take a photo as well. You've already seen that this is an info website in the previous slide that talks about the products and the technology, but this is it, team.com. You can go to that website and you can go dig deep in, do a deep dive into the business side and the system of this is a 10-step system. So this is the time to make a move, to make a change in your life. You're not on this call by accident this evening. Everything happens for a reason. Somebody cared about you enough to invite you onto this call, which could potentially change the entire trajectory of your life. If you're serious about your health, you're serious about your wealth, get back to the person who invited you to this call this evening and tell them how you'd like to get started and get started on your patching journey. I'm going to finish off with 2 more slides. The second last slide is the disclaimer. LifeWave makes no promises or guarantees regarding income. Basically, what this means is, in a nutshell, is what you put in is in direct proportion to what you're going to get out. And I'm going to finish off with a slide. And then directly after this slide, we're going to have Sean coming on to share a quick product and business testimony. But I'm going to be playing the latest clip about David Schmidt. This clip was only launched by corporate just over a week ago. So I'm going to play this 2-minute clip and then we're going to jump over to Sean.
Before the feed, before the names, before any of this had a language, there was a man already asking the question. In the late 1990s, he was working on a problem for the United States Navy. How do you keep a person performing at their peak for 30, 60 hours, using only what the body already has? His answer was light. The company he founded expanded to more than 100 countries, over 200 issued patents, the majority in regenerative science, 80 independent clinical studies. 6 of 8 Stanford swimmers broke their lifetime records. 3 weeks after wearing the patch, the technology appeared at the Olympic trials. Over 1,000 people came forward. This is how LifeWave began. In the late 2000s, he made a decision. He would invest everything into research. 10 years of investigation, multi-million-dollar business, over 80 patents filed, 1 invention. He calls it his greatest achievement, a small patch, worn on the skin, powered by the body's own light. Longevity is now on the cover of almost every magazine. Photobiomodulation is now in every wellness conversation. Holistic health is something many claim they are experts in. He was not inspired by any of this. He was already there.
How awesome is that video clip at the end? Oh my word,
Yes.
I absolutely love it. Yep, David Schmidt, he was there already. What a beautiful video. Guys, you know what the most exciting part is that we haven't even scraped the tip of the iceberg yet. We haven't even started, guys. We haven't even started. You know, to give you an idea, in South Africa, there's less than 10,000 brand partners in South Africa. In the UK, I think there's 5,000 people. Guys, we're talking about a $243 billion industry that we're tapping into, and we haven't even got started yet. I'm more excited now than I was. And listen, I've been excited for the last 3.5 years, but I'm more excited now than ever before because I know what's coming. So what I would like to do is I would like to just spotlight Sean. A lot of people know Sean. He is an absolute rock star in this business. He's a friend. He's a mentor, he's a business partner, and comes with a wealth of knowledge in this industry. And Sean was also one of the people that kind of shrugged LifeWave off and thought, yeah, what a load of rubbish. But yeah, you know what, I'm gonna hand straight over to Sean and I'd love him to share his journey of how he got started and yeah, the product, the business. Over to you, Sean.
Awesome, Chris. Thank you very much. And what an awesome presentation. Thank you so much for that. That video at the end is just fantastic. But as you said, when I was first introduced to this, I wanted nothing to do with it. I have been in network marketing for a lot of my adult life. I've been there, got the t-shirt, had some success, and I was not going to do it anymore or ever again. And so 2.5 years ago, when I was approached, and I wasn't approached for the health and wellness benefits. And if I was approached for the health and wellness benefits, I probably would have still said, hell no, because at the time I considered myself to be quite healthy. I was doing all the right things that people do, you know, trying to stay at the top of their game. I was eating right. I was exercising. I was even meditating. I was doing all those sorts of things. So when I was actually approached to sell the product, I was quite vocally not interested. I think I remember saying to the person that introduced me, you can go stick the patch somewhere, and it wasn't on the back of his neck. And But lucky for me, he didn't give up on me, and he carried on nagging and carried on nagging till eventually I actually just ran out of excuses, and agreed to go and have coffee with him. And really the idea to go and have coffee with him to say thank you, but no thank you, not interested, put it to bed. And I've known this gentleman for quite some years, hadn't seen him for a few years. And actually, when I saw him, I was blown away. There was no sales pitch. There was nothing. There was just, I knew what I'd seen when I last seen him and what he looked like now. He had been bald since the 90s. He was growing hair again. He looked healthy. That was it. I thought, geez, if it's done this for him, I got to try it. Well, actually, my competitive brain kicked in because I know the chap was overweight, smoking, not doing any of the right things. So I thought, if it's done this for him, just think of what it could do for me. And so I went home and I started patching. And that was really all it was going to be. I started patching, and I was never going to build a business with this because I was done with network marketing. And it was just through patching, I started patching, and it's strange. You don't realize how bad you may be feeling until you feel better. These things don't happen overnight. Burnout, brain fog, anxiety, pain even. It's amazing what we learn to live with. And you don't realize it because it's quite slow acting. And it was amazing. Same sort of thing as Chris. After about 2-3 weeks, it was almost like a veil had been lifted off my head. My sleep improved very quick, very early on. And I could feel my energy levels getting better. But a lot of that is quite difficult unless you're tracking, not always easy to spot. And it was almost the same. It's almost like a veil had been lifted off my head. I was able to think clearer. I could work better, could work longer, get more done, because I wasn't sitting there half the time going, what was I thinking again? What was I supposed to be doing again? And then something that really struck after about 3 months of patching, I had quite bad psoriasis on my forehead. 2 doctors, if I switch my camera off, you could actually see, this is a picture of me in 2019. You can see the psoriasis on my forehead here. 2 doctors told me I'd never get rid of it. And I started seeing after about 3 months, my skin started clearing up. And then the cherry on the cake was my father died of heartburn. He had heartburn for many years, never treated it. Look, the man had the worst diet in the world. Never saw him eat a vegetable, but he died of heartburn. And so when I was getting heartburn, or I started experiencing heartburn a few years ago, I was very aware of it. I was taking alkali powders and apple cider vinegar. And I can honestly say, since I've been patching, no heartburn, and I take nothing. And then it was just undeniable. I just started doing what people did, start talking to others, sharing the patch. They started patching and started seeing results. And it was kind of like, hang on, there's something different here. And I think most of us who have been in the industry before and have decided that we're never doing it again, most of us have had the same sort of aha moments. There's something different here. Guys, there's something different here. And I'm incredibly grateful because it's totally changed my life. I can feel myself and getting younger. I've been patching now for 2 years, and I can't wait to see what I'm going to be like in another 2 years, 3 years, 5 years time. And not only are we helping people with their health and wellness, we get the opportunity to help people with their finances. And most people suffer from 2 things: bad health, financial anxiety. And I'm very excited to help people to solve both. So thank you very much again. Really appreciate it, Chris. All the best.
Sean, thank you. Thank you so much. And thank you for everything that you do for this amazing community, your commitment, your hard work. You're an absolute rock star. Thank you, my friend. I really appreciate it. Thank you. Okay, then I've got somebody on surprise. I think Sandy probably knew I was going to ask her to come up. It's because I made Sandy co-host and she's unmuted. So Sandy is right here. Sandy's also been part of this exciting LifeWave journey right from the beginning. Sandy was one of the first people that myself and Lucinda approached with the patches. We've known Sandy for about 12, 14 years now. And Sandy was one of the people that said, absolutely not. I'm not interested at all. And my goodness, how LifeWave has completely transformed all of our lives. Sandy, if you could just, 2-3 minutes, just share with the community what's happened with you the last couple of years on this exciting LifeWave journey.
Sure, thank you. And I did say, definitely not. I'd had enough not going there. Today, I live in gratitude. Thank you, Chris. Thank you, Lucinda. I really live in gratitude. And we'd been through rough times, lost everything. I had to even sell my car, came out of COVID. And when Eric came out, in fact, I thought I had a full dementia case on my hands. Today, life has changed completely and utterly. In that, I have my husband back. I was one of those that took longer than Lucinda. I took 11 weeks before I noticed anything. And it's exactly what Sean says. You don't notice the subtle things. I didn't know I was sleeping deeper. I didn't know I had more energy because I've always had lots of energy. And then something happened in the 11th week. I don't know when things changed, but I understand how the technology works. And therefore, just keep going and keep going. And then as far as lifestyle goes, managed to get a new car 2 years ago. Thank you, LifeWave. And we've traveled the world. To how many countries? To America. We're going back for the conference. I wouldn't miss it for the world. We attend a conference and we book that weekend for the next year. So our lives, dramatic change for the best. And all I wanted to do when I thought about things was to help people to achieve what they want in health. I didn't even look at the complan. And then I saw the changes happening. And today, we love helping people, all of us, in health and to turn their lives around financially. Exactly what Sean and Chris have said. And that brings so much joy to the heart and soul. So thank you, Chris.
Oh, thank you, Sandy. And thank you also for everything that you do for this amazing community. You are also.
Thank you.
He's
Chris?
gone. I know he's still here. Chris is still there, but
Oh,
he's
yikes. Don't know what happened there. It just kind of like fell off quickly for a second. I'll just get Rich to add it on. Thank you, Sean. Thank you, Sandy. Thank you for your beautiful testimony at the end there. And thank you, everybody else. Thank you for being on the call this evening. If you're a guest for the first time tonight, I hope you got something out of tonight's call. And get back to the person who invited you and join us on this exciting patching journey. So I'm really looking forward to all the leaders presenting this presentation. I've thoroughly enjoyed presenting this new look and feel of the presentation tonight, and I hope everybody else enjoyed it as well. So from my side, good night, God bless. See you guys in the trainings. See you guys in person soon. Good night, everybody.
Thank
Night,
you.
everyone. Bye, all.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye.